Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today is gonna be amazing. I'm here with Tarren, which is influencer manager for Illuvium. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, what's up, man? What's good? I am very, very good. Very excited. As always, the people that are watching don't know, we actually had a long talk before we hit the record button, but I'm excited to get into all the stuff that you have prepared.
Yeah, indeed. It was good to brush out the Mandarin in the
Yeah.
conversation.
That's a secret. Don't tell anyone.
But hey, for those of whom they don't know Illuvium, do you mind to give us an intro and tell us about yourself and the project, which is, by the way, one of my favorite projects.
Thank you. So Illuvium is essentially we're a studio that are developing multiple titles. So there are I say 3.5 titles, but there are three major titles right now. We have Illuvium Overworld, which is our monster collection game, something like a Pokemon Monster Hunter, where you go and explore in an open world, find monsters, battle them to capture them, and build your team, essentially. The second game is Illuvium Arena, which is our auto battler game. So the monsters you collected in the overworld are then used in this arena battle game where, like I say, it's like a TFT, Dota Underlords, auto chess style game. What's funny about that is a lot of people think that it's a small genre. It's not. I actually recently wrote a thread on this and done some research on this. There are 33 million monthly players on TFT alone, and there's no actual other competition. It's just TFT. So if you look at it, and it's the 17th most viewed game on Twitch out of the 100,000 games that are on there. So there is actually a huge demand for it, even though a lot of people might disregard that genre, which is crazy to me. But the numbers speak for themselves. So that's the second game. And then the third game is Illuvium Zero, which is our city builder, Sim City kind of industrial game where you build up your mines, you extract resources, and those are the resources that you actually need to use in the overworld to go and capture things. So we're all kind of linking them together. And the beauty is, if you're a Sim City player, you can just play Illuvium Zero. You don't need to play the others. If you're just an auto battler, you just play that. You don't need to play the others. As long as we have players in all different genres, it all kind of feeds into each other, which is really cool. And then the 0.5 game is currently it's a game that's still in development. It's out there, but it's Illuvium Beyond, and that's our Pokemon card collectible game. We have customizable NFTs that essentially you build out your collection. Like, I don't know, did you ever play Pokemon back in the day? Pokemon cards?
Yep.
Okay. Answer truthfully. Did you play Pokemon cards or did you collect Pokemon cards?
No, I collected cards.
Correct. Yeah. Right. No one I know actually played them. And so what we're doing is the collection. So we have this thing where you go and collect it all. You have an album that you fill out. If you fill it all out, you get points depending on how rare they are, how you customize them, with what you customize them with, and you get rewards depending on where you are on the leaderboard. So it's not necessarily a game that you really go in and like actively play, but it's a collection game where you can try and optimize in game theory and things like that. There are discussions about developing that into like a proper card game at some point, which is why I still say it's 0.5 of a game right now. There's a lot. Sorry, man.
No problem. First of all, you guys have been building for years. You can't possibly, wake up one day, have an idea and build this amazing ecosystem overnight. And also you guys have chosen Ethereum, which is amazing.
Yeah, 100%. So we chose Ethereum. Obviously, like, that's where all the developers are, right? Like, that's the place where everything is being built. And one of the things that people bring up is, but gas fees. Luckily, we're built on IMX, which is the layer 2. So the guys that are Mutable are the ones that actually developed Gods Unchained. So the reason we partnered with them is they already have experience scaling in the gaming industry, right? Like, they're going to be the place on Ethereum for gaming. They work like in Sydney, the same as our co-founders. So it makes perfect sense if we want to catch up and link up. Immutable X is where we're on. So yeah, we get the security of Ethereum, the transition speeds and everything like that, transaction speeds, and everything of a layer 2 on IMX. So to us, it seems like a no-brainer.
Do you want to give us an intro about yourself and tell us how you got into blockchain, how you got into Illuvium?
Yeah. So the big thing was, I'll kind of cut the story short. Pandemic, I'll say that. I don't know what words we're allowed to use anymore. That happened, and that obviously affected a lot of people's jobs. I was okay, but I started to realize at that point, one of the things that I realized at that point was I saw all the stock market crash. And I was like, yo, this is an opportunity. This is crazy. Only problem was I didn't have capital. At that point, I wasn't very good. I wasn't saving up money. And I was like, yo, I need to start saving up money. And I started saving up during that pandemic, and I started saving and investing in stocks. And I always had like a 5% allocation in crypto. And then just for diversification, none of this financial advice is just me telling my story. And then what happened was I had a friend who was 100% crypto and no stocks. And he's like, yo, what are you doing? Why are you in stocks? And then the more I saw the returns on, and just the things happening in crypto, I was like, all right, 5, 10%, 15%, 20%. And eventually we got up to like 50. And now I'm pretty sure it's like 75 or 80%. I started to realize, I was like, oh man, this is where the crazy growth is. Like, if you really want to take that risk, like I was young and I told my wife, I was like, yo, even if I commit 5 years, let's say 5 years, and go all into this, and let's say it fails, I'll be what, 20, I'll be 33. That's so young, man. Are you joking? I can start back up and it's not an issue. So that's how I got into the crypto side of things. And how I got into Illuvium was YouTube just, the algorithm just recommended me play to earn gaming or something like that. I wasn't even looking at, I didn't even know that was a thing. When I was in crypto, I was in Bitcoin and Ethereum. That's it. But then this play to earn thing came up, and I don't know why I clicked on it or why I watched it, but I was like, this sounds interesting. I started to immediately understand the value of it, because at the time I was playing, or I had played Borderlands 3. I'd grinded out many, many hours to get like the best gun, and then I stopped playing, and then I just lost all my time. It was just pointless. And I immediately realized, like, what if we use this technology then as an NFT? What if I owned that gun and I didn't want to play it anymore, and I could sell it to someone who was still playing that game? Like, that's just obvious, right? I'm not playing to earn. I'm just not wasting my time. That was the thing that clicked. I don't like the play to earn. It's just, the example I always give is Web2 gamers hate like NFTs. No, they don't. If you give a Web2 gamer who's playing Fortnite and say, this is Fortnite that you're playing right now, do you want to play it? They'll say yes. Then you say, okay, scenario B, this is Fortnite, the same game you're playing right now, but now you have a marketplace where you can sell and trade skins. Do you want to do that? Who is going to say no? It's not NFT. It's just an additional feature. It's not, that's all it is. So that clicked to me. And then I started doing my deep dive into play to earn games. And all of the games that I saw were pretty trash. But I was like, the concept is good. The games are trash. Execution was trash. So I did what any normal person would do when I searched up top upcoming play to earn games. And all of the videos had 2 games in number 1 and number 2. Actually, those 3 games, number 1, 2, and 3. It was always between Illuvium, Star Atlas, and Mirandus. Mirandus, I was like, oh, this is cool, but it looks like RuneScape. It's not really my, like, whatever, I don't care. Like, it's cool, but whatever. Star Atlas, I thought the idea was incredible, but there was too many breakpoints. And what I mean by that was, it was like 8 years or 10 years to develop. And I was like, man, in that time, so many things can happen. So many things can change. Like the risk there, the risk reward, like the reward is like exponential, but the risk was way too high for me. I was like, that's just, okay, if I'm 20, let's say 27, and I have to wait 10 years, I'll be 37. I'll have kids. And like that's a long ass wait. Like that's crazy. The next thing was Illuvium. And again, I kind of explained the market thesis of Illuvium, where it's tackling an autobattler genre where there's only one competitor. So it seems like, oh, we can take some of that market share. It's not like we're playing against Call of Duty, Valorant. There's so many FPSs, right? That's a hard market to take in. Whereas autobattlers seems very doable. And they weren't promising like a play to earn. Again, they promised the thing that what I was saying is like, yo, you play and you own things. You might get lucky and pull a Charizard, the equivalent of a Charizard that earns a lot, but you might get the equivalent of a basic card, which is worth less than what you put in, but at least you can sell it back. So the more I started doing research, I was like, this is incredible. This is the one I want to back. And I started making content. I made content on this every single day for about 7 months, really building a bit of a reputation in the Illuvium space. And then I leveraged that into getting myself a job. And that's my entire story of how I got into crypto, blockchain, and then Illuvium specifically. Slowed down on the content a little bit to focus on my role. But once the game launches or PvP launches this quarter, I'll start streaming and doing more content again. The fun stuff, to be honest.
Amazing. And by the way, this is for those of whom watching or listening, this is how you do it. This is the definition of luck. You know, when preparation meets opportunity, right? So you've seen an opportunity in the market, you've done your research, you work your out for 7 months. You created, by the way, amazing content. I've seen your videos. I love them. And
Thank
then,
you.
out of a sudden, boom, you have an opportunity and, that's it. That's your job. So well done, man.
Thank you. And it's actually it's fun. I don't really get to talk about the story a lot, but I think if people really listen, there's a lot of value to it. Like what I actually did was there was because we're a DAO, so we have a governance structure where we have elections. And what I did was when I started making content was I was like, yo, I need to build a name. Like I need to start to get connected, right? Networking. Not in like a let's go and make like it's a genuine like add value networking kind of thing. And what I did was I started interviewing all of the nominees that were running. And I was like, this is genius because one, it gives them a better chance to get voted because people can see their face and see them, like hear them speak. You relate to that. So it's good for them. Second, it's good for the community because they can actually hear what each nominee is saying and again, relate to them and say, I want to vote for this person. And then three, it's perfect for me because it's easy content. It's just speaking. But two, I get connected to everyone that could potentially be on the council, which means I'm automatically in with the guys at the top. And so again, like what you're saying, preparation meets opportunity. Like look out, be perspicacious, right? Like perceive the opportunities around you and start acting on it and add value. Don't expect things back. Really just put in the hard work and like jump on opportunities, push for it. Don't be like desperate and like push, but tact. Like you need to be everywhere, but tactfully. It's a skill in itself. But practice.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's super well said. And I believe, it's my opinion, maybe I'm wrong here, but I believe that in order to get, you have to give. So the reason why I think, exactly like you said, in terms of producing value, one of the pain points for maybe some of the new creators, they make a couple of videos and they expect to go viral and make a gazillion of money. No, it's like a drill. You have to be consistent, show up, give value, and do it for a while. So I'm not even measuring. I'm just doing it because I enjoy doing it. And at some point, hopefully, this is going to go somewhere. And if not, hey, I had fun. I gave value. I share my love. That's it. I win either way.
Regardless, you learn skills on how to edit, how to record, how to set things up, how to do, like you learn things. So as long as you're enjoying the learning thing, but yeah, don't go into it expecting money. Like honestly, I tell the influencers this that I work with, like the smaller ones, don't even consider monetization unless you're getting 100,000 views a month. Like if you're not getting that consistently, don't even think, how do I monetize? Get a job, work a job, and then keep building this on the time. Build your community on the side, but once you get that consistently, then start thinking about it. Otherwise, you're thinking too early. But that's how I do it. And luckily, I was working 2 jobs while I was doing videos, so I wasn't, how do I make money from this? I didn't care. I was making money. The content was, like you said, fun and just adding value for the sake of adding value and a networking opportunity. It was not a monetary game, unless again you flipped it into a job, which is you don't do that from the content. The content is just a tool. The money from content comes much later.
Completely agree with you. Success can be defined in so many different ways. It could be people you meet, skills you learn, or time you invest into, value you give.
Get more things done as long as it's at a good quality and you're improving slightly every day. That's fine.
The more videos you make, the better you become. That's your practice. It's simple as
everything, like drawing, like anything, sales pitch, like anything. It's just practice. So
talking about the game, there are so many questions. All those 3.5 or 4 different ways to play. How do you interconnect them? So let's say, for example, can I start from any entry points? Can I start by collecting cards and then using the cards in the game? So there's no order, right?
No. So again, it really depends on how you want to play it. You can do anything you want, really, just whatever you want to do. It's with the arena, we're gonna have pre-made decks anyway that you don't own, but you can just use and they will cycle through them. So you can try out the cards without owning them or going to capture them. If you want to play the free-to-play, you can do that. The free-to-play will include all of the tier zeros, plus I'm pretty sure we're going to rotate a couple of the tiered alluvials so you can see what a paid experience would feel like. Overworld, again, if you just want to go and capture the free ones, no problem to build your deck of free cards. If you want to go in and get some paid ones, you can do that. Again, you can just play it however you want, which again is why I think it's cool. Like, I know a bunch of the auto battle players are not going to want to play Zero. That's just not their game. so they can just stick to one. Like they don't need to do all of the things, they just do what they want, which I think is the cool thing. Honestly, I look at what we're doing. We're building an IP very similar to Mario. If you like Super Mario, play Super Mario. If you like Mario Kart, play Mario Kart. If you like Mario Golf, play Mario Golf. You don't need to play Mario Golf to enjoy the other ones. It's not like that at all.
The games and NFTs are gonna mesh together. It's like the perfect match, you know, because you play to own, you play to monetize. And like you said, you know, you have fun to begin with, because if the game is not fun, there is no, I don't think it's gonna work.
It doesn't matter what feature you add. If the game is boring, you're not going to play it. Yeah.
Exactly. But like you said in the beginning, I could not agree more. If you take the same game, the same exact game, and one has even the simple ownership element, which is when you play the game, it's your asset. That's it.
Better. Yeah. Like no one in the Web2 space can say that's a bad idea. Why? It's so crazy. Like it's just why. Another Web2 example of this is like trading cards. You go to open a pack of Pokemon cards. When you buy that, in your brain, you're not thinking, I'm going to get a Charizard. That's not what you're thinking. You will pull an energy card. You might pull a trainer card. You might pull a Jigglypuff. Maybe you pay $5 for it, for the pack. Jigglypuff is worth 50 cents. Maybe you get a Pikachu that's worth $2. So you're not earning anything, but at least if you go to somewhere, you can sell it for $2 and get some of your input back, right? Like that's the idea, if there's a demand for it. And the bad thing with traditional things in the real world is that it might get ripped, it might get damaged, the value might go down. Digitally, you might even say, where do I go to sell this? Digitally, there's a marketplace for it. You know where it is. There's no, the quality is going to go down. It's always going to be in prime condition. It makes so much sense to me. I don't get it. So if you go in with that mindset and say, all right, I put in $5, I might get something that's worth $2. Cool. Like that's the idea. Not I go in with $5. I'm expecting $10 back, bro. That's not going to happen. Like that's like, where is that money? We're not printing money. Like it needs to come from somewhere. Where is that money coming from? So.
And like you said, 100%, everything is more portable, everything is more visible. I mean, there is no match. I mean, everything is moving towards digital anyway. I don't see teenager or kids growing up these days and collect Pokemon cards and put them on the wall. That's not going to happen. They'll have a digital version of it. How about interchangeability? How about I buy the NFT? Like, let's say I buy a racing car and I can play my car in multiple games. Like, you will go down those routes, and gamers are going to, I don't want to say wake up because it's rude, but they're going to learn, they're going to realize like, damn, I can play, have fun, and then have access to those things that I can't now, you know, and I will own my artwork. Like if I go and play Illuvium, I'll have fun. It's a fantastic game, really well designed. And also I'll have my own assets. I mean, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah. The thing that you said is like that they'll wake up. The truth is most consumers, and this is just the truth about the world and the market, most consumers don't actually know what they believe. They just believe what they've heard. And so what's going to happen is there's going to be a game that comes out, Illuvium, but a game that's going to come out, and we're going to get some of the larger influencers covering us, the streamers and things like that. And I know I'm biased because this is my role, but this is how I see it playing out in my head. You're going to get some of the TFT streamers and the big streamers that start to cover it. And then they're going to be like, yo, this is kind of cool. And then what's the audience going to say? Yo, this is kind of cool. It's just going to be follow the leader. Like that's all it's going to be. So once they realize that that's going to happen, it's going to happen.
I agree. And it takes time because like we were saying in the beginning, you don't build an ecosystem like this in 2 months. So now you guys are providing so much value. And by the way, we can go into the game a little bit and talk about how it works. But the way the game has been designed, has been put together, I mean, it's just mind blowing. So like you said, it's going to get to a point where people are going to start playing it hardcore, stream with Twitch or whatever in platforms, and people are going to go, damn, you know, the game is fine, it's sexy, it's really well put together, and I can even make money with it. I'll give it a go. And then usually, like you said, people don't even need to understand the blockchain and how Ethereum works, and none of that is needed. Just play the game, get your rewards, nice and easy. And what I love about you guys is you don't even force people to have deep knowledge of understanding how the blockchain works and download the wallet and my seed phrase. None of that is needed. Just install the game and play.
And that's one of the things. It's funny that we actually talked about IMX. I was watching an AMA today with Robbie from IMX, and he was saying that like 90% of The pain point right now is the conversion of, like, soon as someone hears they need to create a wallet, they just stop, right? That's the point of resistance where they're like, I just give up. And so what they're building, and I think this is going to be super useful, is the immutable passport, where just like any other game, you just put in your email address and it signs in, and there's a custodial wallet. Like, so we'll hold your assets until you want to sell it, and then we'll kind of give you a segue into how to to create it or create a wallet for you. Whatever that's going to look like, I'm not entirely sure. I'm not the tech guy, but that's something that we're working on, and Immutable's working on. And I think doing it like that, where again, if players don't want to sell things and they just want to sign in, just sign in. Like, that should be an option, right? That should be a real thing. So once we get that, that's going to be the biggest thing. Right now, there are two big issues with the current Web3 gaming space, and that is, one, there are no good playable games. Even we are still in private beta. We're launching at the end of the year. So we are going to be the first, I would say, proper game that goes out to the market this year. So that's going to be a big thing to see how that all works out. So we're going to be the first. And then the second thing is the onboarding, which is, again, is there any point of resistance? Is there going to be anything that's going to push people away? And that's going to be the onboarding. So make sure that we get that done with the immutable passport and a seamless experience. Those are the two biggest things. A good game, which we think we have, and then the onboarding, which is being developed by the Immutable team.
You're basically answering all my questions before I'm asking them.
Oh.
Amazing. So end of the year, you're going to launch?
That is on the roadmap, yes. So right now, all of the games are actually playable. Illuvium Overworld is playable in private beta. Illuvium Zero is playable in... Yo, fun fact, talking about different skills, see this video that you're watching right here? I did that. It sounds a lot better with the sound, but don't put the sound as super loud. This is playable right now, as you can see. This is all me playing the game, capturing footage. Illuvium Zero is playable right now. It's in an alpha state, so it's only landholders that can play that, but that will be opened up to everyone at the end of the year again. Illuvium Arena is also in a private beta right now. Right now, it's PvE only. It's survival mode, so player versus environment. But the big thing with that, and this is where things are going to change drastically, in my opinion, this quarter, Q3, we're going to be launching PvP, which is where I think we're going to see skyrocketing of retention and engagement in the games. Because, I mean, like, you said you're not so much of a game. I mean, with Diablo, I guess. But there's only so much you can play against computer. You get bored. You need to play with friends, like competition. Like, I'm a competitive Smash Brothers player. And if you ask me to sit and play with computer, I love the game, I would guess. So it's just, the computer doesn't think. You just know what's going to happen, and you don't get better. But playing with my friends, I could play for days without eating, sleeping. I could just play because they're always pushing you to be better. So PvP is coming out this quarter, and that's where, again, I'm going to start really reaching out to like the TFT streamers, the Hearthstone streamers, like a lot of the trading card games, the autobattler guys, and really start getting them involved. We're linking up, I can't say exactly who, but this is public knowledge now. We're linking up with one of the top 5 esports teams. So we're going to explore some things we can do with PvP there as well. That's going to be really, really exciting. So again, this is playable now. And actually, dude, I'll give you some beta codes you can give to your audience as well, so they can try all of this out and get ready for PvP. So PvP coming out this quarter. And then Illuvium Beyond, yeah, you can play that. That's just the collectible game right now. Coming soon, I should say. Wave 2 coming soon. Yeah, and then open beta for everything, blockchain, everything. Everyone can play Q4. That is what we are scheduled for. Fingers crossed we hit that. Everything is looking good, but obviously, you know how things are. Things might pop up, but we're relatively confident on that Q4 release date.
Amazing. And I've seen the game is playable via Mac or PC, which I love because I'm a Mac user. Back in the days, when I started with Photoshop, there was no Photoshop for Windows. It was Mac only. It was really hard to be a creative in Windows. It was next to impossible. Now they caught up, of course. There is everything available, but I still kept my Macintosh hat. So seeing that you have the version for Mac makes me really happy.
Yeah. Windows, Mac, and then Zero's on Android as well. That's going to be, I think Google Store has made it like NFTs are now a thing that's okay on their thing, if I'm not mistaken. And Arena, we're actually looking to bring that to mobile as well. But that's going to be a Q4 of next year thing. That's going to take time to bring that. But we definitely want to bring this to mobile. If you're on the bus or a taxi, you just want to play one game. Again, mobile gaming is exploding. So leaving that on the table just seems nonsensical. That's a good word to say. It seems nonsensical.
I was about to ask, yeah, those arena games are going to be like, yeah, probably a few minutes for a commuter, no brainer. Actually, when I lived in the UK, I used to see people with their mobile phones on the subway or on the bus playing those kind of game. Yeah. And I guess here you can team up with some friends, right? And do like a team versus team.
Currently, we're actually only doing 1v1, which is why it's very different to TFT. Because TFT is like it's a 1v1, but there's 8 people and you're cycling who you're playing against. It's kind of cool. Like it's the way that they do it. But as a competitive player myself, like you want a 1v1. You want to know exactly you want to build a strategy, counter a certain strategy and see who overcomes. So we're trying to take it more competitive and go 1v1. There are discussions that people say they want a 2v2, maybe a free for all, like again, similar to that. But that's going to come down later if we explore what those look like. But yeah, right now it's a 1v1. It's a mix of the autobattler / trading card game. It's like a traditional card game. That's really what we want.
I love it. Yeah, especially, I mean, I guess it's going to be super tricky if you start mixing themes into the rewards. I mean, how do you rewards to whom? I mean, there's going to be a lot of thinking, right? So whether 1 versus 1, nice and easy, who wins?
I don't know. For me, again, I'm very biased because I am a competitive player. Like anything outside of that, even again, I'll use Smash Brothers as an example. In any competition you go to, if they do a doubles tournament, that's not a serious tournament. Like the players are like, this is where we can have fun. Let's just joke around. If you see them play 1v1, there is no jokes. It is all serious gaming. So if we start to do that again, I know the competitive players will take it less serious competitively, just because again, it's like you're relying on a teammate and they might make the wrong decision and then you get punished for it. Like there's a lot of things that go into that. So I think there's a lot of fun from it. And I think there's a lot of good content from it. As a content creator, I can imagine there's like, yo, why did you do that? Oh my God. All right, let's like do some funny combinations. There's a lot of good content from something like that. But from a competitive standpoint, I think 1v1 is definitely, there's value to both, but 1v1 definitely priority.
Yeah, like you said, those, I mean, I don't have much experience in those kind of arena type of games, but I understand them. You have to be a strategist among everything because you have to decide, okay, who I'm going to play with, what role I'm going to do, where do I position them, and who am I battling with, and how, there is a lot of stuff to consider for sure. And I suppose there's going to be some sort of an intelligence who's going to map your rank or strength, because otherwise, if I'm new, I mean,
there'll be a ranking, there'll be an MMR system that we have. And the cool thing is actually, I didn't even talk about this, man. There's so much. There's two modes inside the arena game. You have Ascendant mode and Leviathan mode. Those 2 modes, if you have Ascendant, so each of the alluvials that you capture, the alluvials are the monsters. So for simplicity, let's just use Pikachu, right? Like everyone knows what that is. Let's say we both capture a Pikachu. My Pikachu could be faster than yours. Your Pikachu could have more health than mine. In our game, we're going with the same thing. So we could capture the same alluvial. We could capture an Atlas, a Ramfire, which is the pterodactyl. We could capture the same thing, but it could be, that's an Atlas, perfect. If you capture an Atlas, my Atlas could have more defense than yours. But when we play an Ascendant, and these are the three stages. This is Axon and then Axodon. There you go. Yeah. Axodon, so cool. One of my favorites. So in the Ascendant mode, if we both play our Atlas, the difference in stats doesn't matter. It's balanced out. So we're playing on an even playing field, purely based on skill. On the Leviathan mode, the stats matter. So that's where we'll see some of the whales really battle it out, where they pay for the most expensive, the top tier alluvials with the best stats, and then they battle it out. To me, is more appealing, not because I'm a whale, but I like to feel like, again, if I go in and spend time catching you and training you, I want you to be fighting for me, not that, it balances out. So again, that's the more competitive side for me. Yeah, so we're going to, yeah, there you go, survival, ascendant, and Leviathan. Perfect. So that's where you're gonna see the difference of a balanced mode in Ascendant and Leviathan, where it's no changes to anything you capture. What you have is what you play, and that's it. And it's just who's better with what they have at that point, which I think is gonna be cool. I think there's gonna be a lot of cool stuff there.
There's going to be so many game profilers. There's going to be people using the open world to go and find creatures, Illuvium, to then train and maybe sell or those kind of things. And then there's going to be people wanting to purchase some of those to then battle them. I mean, there's going to be so many different type of play the game.
There'll be people that go into the overworld to just capture alluvials and sell it. There'll be people that go into the overworld just to build armors and then sell it. There are people that are going to go into the overworld to just get the shards, which are the Pokeballs, and then sell it. Like, there are different ways that you can play it in how you want, or you could just play it and capture it for yourself and play it the way you want to play. Like, there's so many options of how you can play it, which is super, super exciting.
It's so cleverly put together. Like I said, the only example I have in my short history of gaming is like World of Warcraft. You know, you had to sometimes go and get some resources, do some fishing, some mining. You could decide to sell them to the auction house or to use them to improve your character or to level up faster or to do experience. Same in here. You know, you have the open world. You can go do stuff, capture Illuvial, or you can go into resources, or you can just battle games, and it's going to be, maybe you have someone who's going to do a bit of everything, you know, who knows. But the beautiful thing is, A, you will own your assets, B, you will be rewarded not just with fun, but also with, you know, Ethereum. So the look and feel of the game, it's mind-blowing. I mean, you guys have some of the best artists I've ever seen. So
incredible. Grant, like, yeah, so there are three founders, right? And they're all brothers. So Grant Warwick, Kieran Warwick, and Aaron Warwick. So the genius behind everything would be Aaron. He's the guy who's linking it all together and making it feel the way it feels, or making it work the way it works. Kieran is the CEO and the marketing guy. So he's the guy that's really putting it out in front of everyone and make sure everyone knows who we are. That's genius in its own right. And then Grant is the artistic, I don't even know what to call him. Like, he's just incredible, man. The standard of everything is so. What's crazy is what you're seeing now. He was still considered, in his words, Doug. He's just like, this is, man, we need to be way better than this. What are we talking about? I remember when this came out, everyone was going crazy. This was like, they're like, oh, we're releasing the trailer. It was like 10 minutes late. Everyone in Discord, yo, what's happening? Why is it not coming? It was crazy. It was a crazy night. But yeah, there are 7 regions, and all of them are going to be different. So you're going to have like the wasteland. You're going to have a beautiful green, lush environment. You're going to have a dark, rocky kind of lava-esque type thing. And there's crystals, and like there's going to be different regions that you can go to, which again act like different booster packs, essentially. So if you go into the one where there's a lot of water, you have a high chance of capturing water alluvials. If you go into the fire one, you have high chances of catching the fire alluvial, so on and so forth. So it's going to be exciting. You don't go in and just keep playing the same thing again. If you're bored, all right, let's go to this one. Let's try and capture this. Or you put yourself a challenge. I want to capture this. Let's go here. Or I want to capture this. I'm going to go to the hardest place and see how long it takes until I can capture what I want in the hardest like possible location. So I'm thinking about it, and all of us are thinking about it from a content point of view. And like, there's hollows as well. I mean, dude, there's so much. It's a full game, man. Like, there's hollows and dark hollows. So you go in, you find it, and it's a hollow. Like, they're going to be so hard to find, but if you capture it, again, the value on the marketplace, like, that's going to be crazy. And then a dark hollow, even crazier, dude. I haven't actually thought about, I've just been busy working. I haven't thought about everything we're building in such a long time like this, and having to explain it. I'm just realizing why I got so excited when I started learning about all of this, when I started hearing Kieran speak about these things I'm bringing up now. This wave that you're seeing, all these alluvials, are only going to be around for one set. So after a year of being available, we're going to bring a new set. So you can't capture these alluvials anymore. The same way like Pokemon, they bring new alluvials in, you're not going to get these anymore. So if this does become a big IP, which fingers crossed it does, these are going to be incredibly valuable. Like, it's going to be really cool to say like, oh, we were here like you can't get these anymore. Again, the same way that a Charizard, the first edition Charizard, is worth so crazy amounts, you won't be able to get an Atlas anymore or a Ramfire. You won't be able to get that Pterodactyl anymore. And we're going to always come in with new alluvials every set. I think the last time Kieran spoke, it was about a year that we're going to be switching them up. That might change, but regardless, the idea of changing them is not going to disappear. So yeah, man, the whole thing is just super, super exciting.
Such a fantastic way to put the game in a perspective, because like you said, it's going to create scarcity, it's going to create value. A couple of questions here. I'm super excited about this, by the way. You're going to make me go and be excited at gaming again. So incredible. Most likely say I will be drawn by the capturing part, go around, explore, looking for the one. So how do you capture one of those creatures? Do you have to interact with them? You have to battle them? How does it work?
So right now, because we are in a beta and we want to get the game out by Q4, we're taking a bit of a shortcut. So as you can see, you're running around and you're scanning things. That's fine. See that little ball? So right now we're using those orbs as their wakes. And what you do is you chase them down and you shoot them, and then they stop in place. And then you go and you scan what's inside of it to see, do you want to use your energy and go inside and battle it and try and capture it? Or do you want to just jump in without knowing what's inside and hope it's something good? And so if you go in, you have to battle them. If you battle them, you get the chance to capture them. Then you throw your shard at it, throw your shard, you activate your shard, and then there's a chance you might capture it, you might not. If you don't capture it, you can try again, or it runs away. So there are all these things where it's like, again, just imagine you get a hollow Ramfire, you find it, you beat it, you capture it, and it doesn't work the first time. You're like, oh my God, okay, let me try again. You capture it and it runs away. And imagine you're a streamer, and that's like, yo, that's $50,000 gone. Holy, like, what the hell? Like, yo, it's just, those moments are going to go crazy. You know what I mean? Like, those are just crazy moments. So that's how you capture it. You go, you shoot them, you go into it, you scan it, you battle, and then attempt to capture. The way it works is we're going to develop it, or we want to actually have the alluvials walking around the overworld. That's the final state. When I say we're launching in Q4, that's still a beta. So we're still going to be developing the game. So we want to have it like Monster Hunter, where you are seeing the alluvials actually go around in the overworld. And we're actually prototyping that already. I tested that out maybe last week. We have a prototype internally of what that looks like, and we're kind of testing that out and giving feedback. So we're already working on that and trying to make that a reality. So that's really exciting. That's how you capture the alluvials. And then there's other things about, there are different tiers of alluvials. You have tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, 5. 5 being incredibly hard to capture, 1 being much easier. And again, you've got the different shards. So you have a tier 1 shard, 2, 3, 4, 5. Tier 5 shard will pretty much capture a tier 1 100% of the time. A tier 1 shard will capture a tier 5 maybe 0.2% of the time. So again, going in and understanding, like, what, again, imagine another scenario. You find a hollow Ramfire, because that's always, like, Ramfire is like the coolest one that we have. You go in and find a hollow Ramfire, and you only have tier 1 and 2 shards. Ramfires are a tier 5. You're just going to look at yourself and be like, yo, someone's going to break a keyboard. You know what I mean? Like, someone's going to be like, yo, what the hell? Yeah. Like, what is going on? So, yeah, those are going to be, or again, like, there's so many. Yeah, I just, again, I'm a content creator, so I'm imagining, like, yo, you find a Ramfire, which is really cool. You capture it. You use your last tier 5, and then you find a hollow Ramfire next. And you're like, yo, no, what? Like, there's all of these cool moments that can happen, which I'm really excited for.
Will you be able to, in the open world, fight with people to capture something specifically, or for now they'll be able to both have a chance?
Right now, Overworld is going to be a one-player game. It's going to be a one-player game with social aspects. There's not much I can really there's nothing I can reveal about the lore, but that's a big part about it. But essentially, you crash land on this planet, and then you need to kind of figure out what's going on. Like, that's all I can say now. When the game is out, you'll learn a lot more about it, and a lot more of it will make sense. But there'll be things like social chat. So me and you could go out and play together. We'll be doing our separate runs, but we could be on a voice chat. Hey, man, I just caught this. I just caught this. There'll be a chat where we're working together. Maybe group runs where the scores that we get lead to something else together as a group. And then there's the one hub world that you're in. We're looking to include that right there, this place. we're looking to have like people in there where you can kind of hang out with your friends and whatnot. That place will more than likely be where we can see other players. But when you go on for your runs, as far as I'm aware, that the plan is currently to keep it as a single player experience.
Nice, and it makes sense because you have 4 different ways for now to play the game, and some of them has to be. I think it makes sense to make them tailored to. I mean, if you want to fight, you will go more to the arena sort of thing,
Correct.
right?
Correct.
But if you want to be left alone, I don't like PvP as much. I like to explore, do my thing. So having the option to be left alone and maybe seeing people around, great. But my preference will be to maybe focus on capturing more than battling. So it's great you thought about all the players and profiles.
Aaron, the mastermind behind it all, yeah. So again, like there's a lot to do with the lore that I can't reveal, but I think a lot of it will make a lot more sense when that does come to light. The lore is incredible, man. I like that. So look, I don't want to talk too much about it because I might leak something, but the lore, I read the lore and I was like, this is just, you wouldn't. Yeah, look, I shouldn't say anything. It's just incredible. That's all I'll say. Jesus.
Yeah, no, it's super exciting. And I mean, thank you so much for taking us into this unbelievable journey. I mean, I've been following you guys for quite a bit. I knew the game, of course. I knew what we were building. But I mean, actually hearing you talking about it is just like another level, man. Another level.
Thank you, man. Thank you for actually listening. Again, I'll be honest. I've been so busy just like hyper focused on just my job. I haven't been able to sit back and actually take in what we're building again. Like, it's kind of crazy. It's always just, we have this campaign, and never like, yeah, damn, we're really building this. Like, this is crazy. Like you said, we've been building for like almost 3 years now, man. So Q4 is when I would like to say we can take a break, but I'm pretty sure my job's just going to get a lot harder when that happens. So yeah. You guys can enjoy the game. I'll work twice as hard.
It's like one of those things where, you go to the gym and you work out and you see yourself in the mirror every day. So you don't see the progress. But then you meet someone 6 months later, they haven't seen you for a while and goes, damn, you've been bulking up,
It's funny because that happened to me last weekend. So yes, exactly like that. That's exactly the case. Yes.
But hey, is there anything else you would like to add to the call today?
No, man, no. Just thank you. This is like you are incredible at what you do. Also, I respect you as an individual. The conversation we had before this already, like, I just want to put that out there publicly. Like,
thank you.
Yeah, you have a lot of insight and like just experience and insight into a lot of this. So your word is actually, I value the things that you say. And the questions were great as well. So no, thank you. And yeah, for the people watching, I'll present you with a link after this. So anyone that wants to register for the beta, click on that. And then I'll give you some beta codes that you can give out and however you want, whether on Twitter or the comments, whatever you want, I'll give that to you as well. So we'll discuss an allocation. I'll give you like 10?
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
I'll give you 10 beta codes. And then anyone else that wants to register, click on the link down below and say what's up in Discord.
Nice, fantastic. I will make sure to link in the comments down below everything so people can find you. Make sure, guys, to follow the right links because there is a lot of bad stuff out there. So follow the official links, the one I'll have in the comment. So just to be safe. And hey, Tarren, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the channel. And I'll speak to you soon, okay?
Oh, good. Peace out, guys.
Thank you for watching, guys. Bye.